Well, looks like you're starting to upload your AFR, your flat file into the AFR online system, and you're finding that the system kicked out a report that lists out several invalid codes. And you're saying, hey, these worked last year, why aren't they working this year? Well, what happened, we had to go in and reduce the number of codes in the master code list. We had about 50,000 last year. Now we've slimmed out and got to about half, so about 24,000 lines of coding that you can use. So what you used last year may be a part of those that we had to eliminate. And I'll go through that a little bit later, but first what we're going to do is go through the steps to fix your invalid codes. So two-step process. You're going to be using the user's manual or accounting structure manual, same thing. And they're also going to be using the master code list because that tells you what combination of function and object code is going to be able to be accepted by the online system. So first, you're looking for an object code definition that's going to best fit what you're looking for. I'm going to use an example that I had a call from a school. They're trying to find insurance for band instruments because last year they could use 520. That's insurance other than but employee benefits. Well, that doesn't show up in 1100s anymore. So they have to find a different one. So you go through the definitions and try to find your best fit. Next step is we're going to go into the master code list. It's posted on the FOS homepage and it's found under Annual Financial Report School District. You'll pull that up and it'll take a while to download if you haven't done this yet. And you'll be using the filter functions at the top of both of those columns. And that helps you find what you're looking for. And that is going to be your best friend. So what I'm going to do now is step through the process to try to find a replacement for 520 insurance other than employee benefits in regular education. So I'm going to pull up the master code list and it starts with 1100, but that's revenue. So I can't use that. So I have to search through it. So I'll use that filter at the top and you'll see there's several ways to sort stuff. You can sort your information from low to high or go from the other direction, large to small. I'm going to use the search bar because I'm going to look for all the codes that are listed in the 1100 so I can find a replacement for that insurance. So 01, general fund, and you have to do that because the master code list has all the different funds in there. So I want to narrow it down to general fund disbursement, which is a 2, and then I want to pull up the 1100s. So it's 011 and 00. And you can see that it's done that right here in this section. And this is handy because if you're looking for a smaller selection, you may see everything here, but this is a lot bigger, so you can use this scroll bar and it shows all the different choices that you'd have. But I want to see the description, so I'm going to click OK. So that's going to list everything that are my choices. And I'm looking for something to replace 520 insurance for other than employee benefits, because these are instruments, they're not employee benefits. So I'm scrolling down. I'm going to start with the 500s because 520 was what it was. So look in the 500s and I see there's nothing really that would work of those choices. So I look right above because I want to find something that's close to it, and I do see this one, other purchase property services. I think that's a good fit. So I would use that 490 to replace that insurance for band instruments in the 1100s. And that's the easiest way that you can go on to get that information. Now I want to go back to give you some tips with using that master code list. I've saved my master code list to my desktop for my convenience, and I suggest you do that too, but be very careful that you watch for updates and be sure that you're keeping the most current version on your desktop. So you want to save on top of it because you don't want to use a prior version. Also, it would be maybe helpful for schools to highlight by color the account codes that are used by the district within the master code list. And you would be able to pull it out because you'd filter by color then, and it would show you everything that you've chosen as the district color and their codes. When you're in the filter function and that drop-down box, you can key in the function object code or a keyword if you're using the description column, that's column B in the search box. And if there's not very many there, you can see all your choices. If you click OK, you're going to have everything, the descriptions and the codes. If you just stop and don't click the OK, your system's going to work faster and it'll work better for you. So I'm hoping this is going to help you get those fixed as soon as possible. So now I move on to what those changes that we did to the master code list. We cut it down from 55,000 codes to 24. We removed inappropriate code combinations, and they were a lot. For example, we had transportation object codes that appeared in executive admin, and that's not appropriate. So we pulled those kinds out. We also had a report put together by our programmers so we could comb through every code that was used by districts. We pulled out all those codes that weren't used by districts. That saved us a lot. And then we also went through, if we found some object code strings that were used by 2 or 3, maybe 4 districts, and we found a good replacement for it, we would pull those out as well, because it didn't seem very wise to keep something like that for if only 2 or 3 schools used it. We also, for another example, we pulled out 630 food, which appeared in every function code. Now it only appears in the school nutrition fund, and that makes sense. Some schools do use food in their regular instruction or in, say, your preschool classes. You won't use 630 because it's not there, but you could code it to 610, which is supplies. We also slimmed down codes by consolidating 7 those energy related codes that were object codes into 2 object codes. So we combined them. 621 is utility energy services. That's how you heat and light the buildings. And that's all listed there below. And then 626 is fuel. That's how you're filling up your buses or your school vehicles, and that's all separate. So it's either utility, whatever it takes to run your building, or what you use to run your vehicles. We did come across 430. We pulled that one out because we actually had 3 categories of repairs and maintenance, because we had the main one, and then we had based on non-technology related repairs and maintenance and technology related. We pulled out the 430 of all the functions, and depending on the function, either you had a 431 or 432. We have had a lot of questions about this, so we will go back and add 431 and 432 to all the functions for 2021 in the next year's code list. We're hoping this helps you as you go on and get your AFR uploaded. We hope it goes well for everyone, and it'll be over soon. So thank you very much. Good luck.